Well, I heard about self-directed support initially from my mum, who had seen a television programme on the BBC that was about self-directed support when it first came out, and she approached my MHO when I was in hospital to see about getting self-directed support, and at the time it was just new, and he had told her, you really need to push hard to get it because it's not getting promoted as much as it should be. So that was how I first initially heard about it. And she went to my psychiatrist and my social worker, and because I was in and out of hospital so often, they didn't have enough time when I was out of hospital to get it up and running. So probably about maybe 6 years ago or something, I heard about it 6 or 7 years ago. I'm not sure when exactly it came in. It took a while to get it into place because I was in and out of hospital for like 6 months at a time. It only really got put in place about 3.5 years ago, when I was out for long enough that the paperwork and everything could be done. But fortunately I was lucky enough that one of my PAs I got quite quickly, and it was good because when we went to the interviews, it was me, it was Vicky, and it was my social worker and MHO Zoe. And Vicky would have a list of questions that should go through, asking if they drive and stuff like that, and if they've got a PVG and things like that. So that's stuff that I didn't need to worry about in the interview. And then Zoe would maybe come in with some questions, and then obviously I would have some questions at the end. And it was a way of building up an idea of what the person was like, because in the end you're going to be working with them for a while, and you want to work with somebody that you've got some kind of rapport with, that you can have some interests with, the same kind of interests, and depending on what your situation is, you're able to hire somebody that fits what you need to do. But for me it was just somebody that was social and able to kind of help me arrange to get out and about, and also to meet up with me, so that if I relapsed it was picked up really quickly, so that they would see me I'd see them 4 days a week, and it would be picked up really quickly. So option one has made a huge difference to me, and that's nearly 4 years since I've been in hospital. Whereas before that I was in 6 months, out 6 months, in 6 months for the first 5 years. And then since STS option one's been up and going, that's been 4 years nearly since I've been in. So along with the medication and the care package, including the STS option one, it's been huge. It's made a massive difference. But my second PA, I wanted somebody that was more trained in mental health, so that took a wee bit longer. Whereas my first PA, I just wanted somebody that was socially compatible with me. He liked the same kind of things, he likes football and stuff like that, and he likes going out and doing stuff, and he's really active. He likes going to the gym and stuff like that. So I got Callum really quickly, and then it was about a year until I got Dean, and he kind of works with other people with mental health issues. So it's a kind of good balance, and that was a choice I had, because Vicky, Phelan and Zoe, my social worker, in no way did they pressure me to hire somebody. If they thought they were going to be good for me, they'd give me their opinion, whether they thought they'd be good at this, they'd be good at that. But in the end, it was up to me, and it was my decision. And there's no pressure really to get somebody straight away. You've got the time, and once the STS budget's agreed, that's really when the interviews start happening and the money is available for you to find somebody to fill the gap that you need. And it also opens up other avenues where maybe you're nervous about going to places. You can have somebody that will take you to places or that will do stuff with you. Like for instance with Callum, I go to the snooker and stuff, and with Callum and Dean I go to the cinema and things, whereas I wouldn't do that with myself really. And before I've been out for 3.5 to 4 years, every time I come out of hospital I would just get into my shell and I'd have nobody to kind of help me, encourage me to get out and socialise. So it's really kind of personal to yourself, who you kind of take on. And the biggest thing is Aylan's there as a company that will help with the wages. They're always in the end of the phone. You can always phone up if you've got issues, if you want to know about holidays that you've got left, or you want to know something about the wages or how to fill in the timesheet. Anything like that, you can phone them up, you can email them, they always get back to you straight away. So it's really good. There's options depending on how much you want to, how much responsibility you want to take, and Aylan's there to offer you help if you don't want that as much responsibility. Because initially, when I was told I was going to be an employer and I was going to have to employ people, it's daunting, especially if you've just come out of hospital or something after a period of time. But after reading through the Aylan leaflets and talking to Vicky, and Vicky had come out 2 or 3 times and talked me through how it would go, and how she went through the advert and everything, and we discussed what the advert should be about, whether it should, like, what I'm looking for, if you're looking for household support or just somebody to socially help you, anything like that, it would be in the advert, and the advert will be posted on like Universal, so it will be posted on the Aylan website, and then you just wait for the applications to come in, and we arranged for the Northwest Centre to do the interviews, and it took a wee while, but it was better to wait and get somebody that you were happy with, so that you could work with them and that they would complement what you were struggling with. It's went for 6 months in, 6 months out for the first 5 years to finally get this up and running and get my 2 PAs, and now I go at least once a week. Maybe I'll go out for a coffee or I'll go to the cinema, and your budget's all done by your social worker. The board was something that had come up. I think I'd spoke to, I can't remember who it was that brought it up, whether it was Margaret, the chair, Vicky or Zoe, but somebody had brought it up and suggested that I meet up with Margaret and discuss it. So I'd met in Coffee Trader in Kilmarnock with Margaret and discussed it, coming on as a director on the board. And I thought, it's a charity organisation. I've spent three years, I think it was, using them. Their services are really good. It's something that I'd be happy to help in any way I can. And then also the peer mentoring was one that I thought, well, if I can talk to somebody that's maybe having some doubts about going for option 1, then that's perfect, because I've got experience doing it, so maybe they can get something from my experience. And the fact that option 1's made such a huge difference to me, and that I don't think it's promoted enough, makes a huge difference if the peer mentoring gets up and going, and we can get some some other people that might be swaying between option 1s or option 2s and 3s, but ultimately option 1 might be the best thing for them, and they might just be worrying like I was at the very start, because you're kind of told you're going to be an employer and you're going to have to employ people, so the first thing you think is, my God, what if they don't get their wages? What about insurance? What about this? What about that? But that was all covered by Vicky when she came out. She covered everything. It's a good thing to volunteer for, and it is a charity organisation, so you're giving something back that you've gained from. So it's just something that I really enjoy doing.